Hello, Awifians. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you all, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Um, Today we're going to be talking about generational wealth creation for Africans. And Lydia is not here. If this is the very first time you're watching me live, my name is Lilian Mole. I am the founder and CEO of the African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, the place where we challenge the status quo for economic advancement of African women. So please take the minute to come join me. Share this live stream out with your family and friends so they can also contribute to this valuable topic. I'm just wondering if Lydia did not confront Central, Eastern summertime to the UK time. It's not the same thing. So let's just give her a few minutes and see if she will join or not. And voila, c'est comme ça, c'est la vie. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me live already. I am waiting for Lydia to join. I don't have any sign of her backstage. I hope she did not make a mistake with the time difference between the UK and the rest of Europe. My name is Lydia Mole. I am the founder and CEO of the African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum. Today we are talking about generational wealth. And while we wait for Lydia, I would like to share with you the quote of the day. Every wealthy family had that one member that broke the chains of poverty for future generation. Every wealthy family had that one member that broke the chain of poverty for future generations. So in your family, who is that one member who broke the chain? Could it be to you? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Or was it a grandparent who broke that chain for you? Many of us, especially us Africans, many of us, we just live day by day. We create wealth for ourselves. And the wealth does not seem to be passed on from one generation to the next. In Cameroon, where I was born, there is a tribe called the Bamileke tribe, and they are very, very known. They are really great at passing wealth from one generation to the others. And we always wondered how they did it, why they did it, and why was it so easy for them. I'm not sure it's still the same today. Things have changed because I come across the people from that tribe, and it's not like it used to be. So I want to know, in your country, is there a particular tribe? Is there a family member that has broken this chain of poverty so the next generation will benefit from it? But also, while I was preparing for this live stream, I was also thinking there is a famous quote that says, there is one generation that builds and the next generation destroys. So how does this work for you? And before we dive in this conversation, I don't think Lydia is going to make it. I think there's a problem with the time. I don't see her backstage. I don't see her any sign of her answering my messages. Let me check again. No. So I don't think it's gonna work with her today. So I will just carry on like I normally do, and voila, we'll see. And we hope we can find. We can get to speak with her some other time. I hope that many guests will also join me. Before we dive into this conversation, yes, I have broken that chain. And I hope that my children, my great-grandchildren, will not walk on the path that I did or that my parents did, because it was tough. It was difficult. When I came to Switzerland as a student, I had to do it on my own. And God knows how many hours of cleaning I had to do. Day and night. I worked 7 days a week. just to be able to pay for my fees. My mom gave me the last money she had, which had to be reimbursed and reimbursed on board, reimbursed and reimbursed. You know how African tradition, our family works, which is like a debt that you will never be able to finish for yourself. So yeah, I'm so grateful for all those families that helped me, employed me so I could then sponsor myself. Look at me today, where I am. And I hope that I represent that generation that's going to stop or break that chain of poverty. Let me help you in my own way. Proudly, I stand here to say, yes, I have broken that chain. And I hope that it will continue. I hope that the lessons that I've learned, I will be able to pass it on to the next generation, be it my children, be it my friends, be it you as a community here at AWIF. And I will like to use this opportunity to invite you all to join our community. I am going to put that link here. If you have not joined the community yet, you better do so, because Facebook is playing games with us and they shut down pages, especially African pages. We don't know why. So be sure to join the community. I've just put the link there, just your email, your address, so you are updated with what's happening behind the scenes that we don't talk about here on live streams. And to be part of the community as we carry along if social media was going to be disrupted by one way or the other. So yeah, I have broken that chain. I hope that it will be carried on. And I hope that my children will not have to walk the path that I did. So you tell me, how is it for you? What is your understanding of generational wealth? What is your definition of generational wealth? And do you think it's possible for you to break that chain of poverty? Or did somebody, maybe an uncle, your parents, your great grandparents, broke that chain for you and you don't have to struggle today? So come tell us, come share with us how it is for you, how you're trying to maintain the wealth that was given to you, or how you're trying to create the wealth that you think could save generations. So for me, in the absence of Lydia, who was supposed to join me today, my definition of generational wealth is a wealth that can be passed on from one generation to the other through different income streams. It could be real estate, it could be stocks, options, it could be just cash, it could be through insurances. And that's the way I see generational wealth. It could be a business that's been run and it's passed on to the next generation. And that, I think she's coming along. Just give me a few minutes. I think she's here. Okay, she's here. Okay, let's see if she's backstage. Just give me a few minutes. So let's see if she'll be able to join. She said she's here. I don't know if she'll be able to make it. Okay, so she's answering. I think, as I said, I've had this before where people from different times do not take notice of the difference in time. So yeah, let's just give her a few minutes. Maybe she'll be able to join us. As I was saying, I think is this generational wealth is wealth which is passed from one generation to the other through different sources of income. For example, real estate, it could be a business, it could be just money, just chunk of money. It could be in the form of insurance. So what is it that it is? What is it for you, generational wealth? What is your definition of generational wealth? What is your idea about generational wealth? And How do you intend to create this for your family, for your loved ones, or just for a community in general? So come share with us, share this live stream with your family and friends, and hopefully, Lydia will be here. I think she's coming. Let me send her the link again, just in case she says she's going to make it. So let's just give her a few minutes. She will be with us. That's great. I like when things like this happen. We don't give up. We just keep going, because if you would have given up that she's not there, then not smart. So yeah. So how do you intend to build wealth for yourself and your family, or the next generation, or for a community at large? While we wait for Lydia, please take the time to share this live stream out. Share it on your social media platform. Share it by email. We are also on YouTube, just in case. We are also on YouTube. If you prefer watching on YouTube, because not everybody has access to Facebook, I will share that link as well. Give me a few minutes while I share that link on YouTube with you all, so everybody gets a share of this information. There you go. You can find it on the comment box. You just need to click on that link to either join us on Facebook or YouTube. And for those of you who are already live with me, thank you so much for your patience. Tell me what your definition is of generational wealth. What is your generation? What is your definition of generational? I'm confused today. What is your definition of generational wealth? As we continue, I would like to come back to this quote, which says, every wealthy family had that one member that broke the chains of poverty for future generation. Who was it for you? Is it you? Is it your parents, grandparents, great grandparents? Or maybe it's not happened yet. And if it's not happened yet, what do you think you can do? What instruments, tools can you put in place to be able to carry forward and create generational wealth for your family, for your children, for your community, whatever it may be for you that you want to create, or whoever it may be that you want to create this wealth for? So while we wait for Lydia, share with me your definition of generational wealth. As I said a few seconds ago, it's just wealth which is passed from one generation to the other, either through businesses, lump sum cash, real estate, stocks, options, bonds, insurances. What is it for you? What definition do you have for generational wealth? And as Africans, how good are we in creating wealth for the next generation? We have a good culture of community, but are we doing the right things? Is it time for a shift? Is it time for a revamp of our mindset? How can we make things change? How can we move things further? Share with me while we wait for Lydia to join us. Yeah, so while we wait for Lydia, there are several ways we can use, several instruments, several tools we can use to create generational wealth. However, it's not that easy. And I see that Lydia is here with us. Thank you so much. Please keep sharing this live stream with your family and friends. Hello, we can't see you, dear. You're so dark. There's something wrong with your image.
Oh, good. It's not back here. Okay, can you?
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Okay, sorry, because of the UK time.
Yes,
It
I
is
noticed at
UK
the end, and I'm
time.
like, oh, I think she thinks it's in an hour. No, how are you?
I'm good. And
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for not giving up. I'm glad that you saw the message and you could answer the messages and then notice that I'm already live. So please, please, please take the time and help me introduce yourself to this audience, to my audience, because we are going to be having a difficult conversation. So who are you and why are we having this conversation today?
Well, well, my name is Lydia Tett Olet from Kenya. Go where I go, my bracelets. So to just remind me of where I come from, when I live in the UK, and I'm into performing arts. So that's my passion, performing arts, our culture, because a lot of Black children have either been denied to know their perform as that I do
We
is
cannot
I'm
hear
an
you.
insurance.
We cannot hear you. Your internet is breaking. We did not hear
Oh,
what you said.
really?
Yes.
Oh, God. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, God. Shout. Yes. So I'll start again. Ted Colette, and I'm from Kenya, but I live in the UK.
Okay.
Perform. So I go to schools and I teach our culture, our African culture, and I organize a lot of. Okay. But my main thing that I do, main passion, is I'm an as a Black community, we need to learn how to generate our generation, we call it. And if you look at investment, yes, people do investment, people do savings, but for you to live children like sharp is through insurance. That is the only way. And insurance, oh, it was an introduction, so let me be quiet first because I always the way and I go on and on. That's who I am.
Great. I saw you on another Facebook page, Facebook Live, and I was so heated up. I was like, because I have had, when I saw you on that Facebook page, it was more about insurance. And I have had my share with insurance. I had it last year. In the last 2 years, I've been dealing with them because of an adversity that landed me on their platform or God knows what. And I struggled a lot with the insurance, even though I have all sorts of, you can from heaven to earth types of insurance. It's still a struggle. So when somebody tells me today that creating wealth, one way of creating generational wealth is through insurance, I fight back. I fight directly
Yeah.
back because I have a very, very
You
bad,
do.
yeah, bad, not knowledge. I have a good knowledge of how it works, but when it comes to reimbursing you, it becomes a problem. So
Yeah.
how can we use insurance? Now, before we go to that top question, we have the quote of the day which says, "Every wealthy family had that one member that broke the chains of poverty for future generation." Does this resonate
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah. So should I do the quote of the day or answer your question?
Yes. Does
Time
this
to give.
resonate with you? Do you agree with this? That there's always that one family member that breaks the chain?
I agree. But it's not easy to break that. It's not easy to just come and break family. You mindset. You must change your mindset because the thing is you're brought up in this, you're brought up in a community that does not believe in generational wealth, or you're brought up in a community that does or does not believe in savings, does property. They only believe in when you get your money, you buy nice things or you eat or you use it to, because one day you die and people start fighting for your wealth. Because I see people reason like that
I
every
think
money they get after
I
they've
think
paid.
let's just hold on. We can hear you, but Lydia is breaking. So, would it be possible for you, Lydia, to switch off and switch on again? Because you're really breaking. We don't get a word of what you're saying.
how do you switch off? A leave studio, right?
No, no, just stay
Leave
at
studio.
backstage. So I will just maybe take you off and then bring you back again. Let's just try and see if this is going to work. Okay, let's just give her a few minutes. Yep, let's come back. Let's see if it works.
Okay.
Okay. So is it
Let me
going to
try.
work? Let's try again and see. So
Let me
let's
try
try again.
earphone.
We can hear you when it's breaking, and then we have Stephanie who says, "Hello, Stephanie. We need to talk. We need to
Can
talk."
you, yeah, can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yes.
Earphone, so I don't know if earphones will help.
I think it might help. Lydia,
Okay.
my childhood friend, go girl, my lovely African ladies. Yay, Lisa.
Uh,
Lisa.
yes, that is my lovely, my childhood friend.
Now it's okay, she says. Joy says it's okay. Okay, so
Okay.
now we can
Okay.
continue. Yeah. It's good to
Okay.
have people who are watching
Yeah.
live.
So, so
So
just
you
to
you were saying about generational wealth, about how you can, why you are passionate about generational wealth.
just for me to first agree with what you were saying in
Yeah.
regards of a kind of family break. Because but what I was saying is you have to change your mindset first for that to happen. Because a lot of community or a society or environment that doesn't believe in generation wealth, believe in savings, they don't believe in all they believe is what you die one day and then everybody will start fighting for your wealth because you think like that. That family, how are you going to break through? How are you going to break through healthy family for yourself? Because you're also going to have children and bring your children up the same way you are. It's what generational this person did. It carries on and it's a circle. But you have to have a different mindset of that box and say, you know what, I don't believe in this. I want to try this, I want to try this, I want to try. That's the only out and break it. And it always happens because there's always one child who's stubborn, rebellious. Oh, I want to do it my way, ways. And that, yeah, I know. that that and breaks through because they're rebellious. They're like, yeah, but also inquisitive, you know, they're so inquisitive, they want to find out what is in the other room because they're locked in. They've been told this is the only even you can survive in, but they're thinking, but there's another door there. If I break that door, behind the door, so the unknown, we make the other children say, I cannot break through that door. But that one child will break through their mind, think to break that poverty that is in the circle. And that is the same thing. We need to change mindset. We need to break through that door and start thinking of generational wealth. Generational wealth, when I'm talking about insurance, yes, I know that people say insurance don't pay. Are you,
We will get to that. We will get to that. But so what is your definition of generational wealth?
my definition of generational wealth is if I leave wealth for my, it shouldn't be just, it should be for my children's children. And the wealth that I leave for my children's children, this stuff that I left, they should be able to invest it, they should be able to use it and so the wealth that I leave today should be enough to feed generation and generation to come. So that means that if I leave something for them as a, they should now, I should now teach them how to bring them more, to bring more wealth in the family, so that their children can bring more wealth. That came from me. That is what generational wealth means. The money came, the beginning came from me. Generation
So
will be, so that is the definition.
Absolutely. And also to add to that is that generational wealth is not only the money or the insurance you leave, but it's also the education to be able to multiply what has been handed to them. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. Because if you leave children who know nothing about money, who are living in that box of let's just squander it, because if we die one day, leave it, people fight for it, and you've left these children £1 million. These children will take that £1 million and squander it. So
Yeah.
what goes with generational curse is also education, because education is a tool, is a powerful tool that you cannot take from anybody, even if they're broke, but they have the knowledge. So knowledge is power. We always say knowledge is power, and power is money.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, and power is money. Knowledge generates power, power generates money. So if you have knowledge and you have the money, you go a long way. So, like you said, like you rightfully said, Lillian, education as well goes a long way. It's not just the money, because you can have money and have no sense. We have a lot of people who win lottery. We have a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people who have won lottery. They've ended up in prison, they've ended up
Yeah.
in mental illness, they've
Yeah.
ended up doing crimes because they did not have the knowledge how to handle money.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you that the knowledge behind it is so important. And I was saying
Mhm.
before you came in is that people should comment if this resonates with them. Who is that one person that broke the chain of poverty? Was it a grandparent? Is it their parent? Is it them? And I recall back in Cameroon, there is one tribe called the Bamileke. They are amazing. You know, they have this wealth and they pass it from one generation to the next. So the next Bamileke person you see, the probability that they are wealthy is 99.99999. Because they know how to manage money, they know how to carry it forward, and they know how to give to the next generation. So,
Mhm.
coming
Mhm.
to that, I'm just saying that I was asking, who is it who has broken that generational wealth? Personally, I have. I can proudly say I have. And this is a problem standing in public place saying I have, because it's like you're attracting people to yourself for the wrong reasons because of our African
Mhm.
culture. And this is why I love my platform. It's not only because I founded it, it's because I think it's time that this education, these words start coming out from our mouths fluently without fear, not shame, but to encourage other people to be able to say, I want to be able to stand there one day to say, I have, or I am that person, or that my
Mhm.
kids, my great grandchildren say, my grandma gave me this wealth. This is all what is contributes to this generational wealth. It's not only the cash itself, it's the pride that you
No.
have that somebody did something and how can you multiply it. It's the pride that you can stand in a public place and say, I was poor. I said it here, right here. I did not have the parents who gave me what I needed when I came to Switzerland. I worked 7 days, and I'm so grateful for that, for the families that employed me as their cleaning lady, as their babysitter, and the one person who finally took my CV and gave it to the bank and said, "This person is qualified." So I pray that many people will have this courage to say it, that we start changing our culture, because as a community,
Yes.
I think the African community, we are good in so many things. We're good in reunion, we're good in keeping people together, but we're keeping people together broke. Everyone in the community is
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
broke.
Miss.
So getting out of that clan, they hunt you down, they call you names and whatever. We have to start talking about Lee proudly,
Mhm.
not because we want to be snobbish. That's what it is. If you go get an
Yeah.
insurance, you get a benefit for it. If you invest in a certain way, you get a benefit for it. And if you
Mhm.
start,
Mhm.
on this platform again, I've started pushing kids entrepreneur. So you start telling your children. I tell my child, A is not Apple, A is account. Okay, tell me what you want. I don't care. So we start educating our children, and it's time as a community. So, my question to you, as a community, how good are we Africans in creating generational wealth?
We are so poor. We are so poor when it comes to creating generational wealth.
Yeah.
And first of all, like about the money, because wealth is something that cannot disappear. Richness disappear. Someone
Yes.
can be rich, but they're not wealthy. Yeah.
Yes.
Wealth means you can sit down, your generation to generation, you sit down and enjoy that wealth. I'll give you example. Alan Sugar. Alan Sugar is his uncle left him 500 million pounds in insurance money when his uncle died. That was his uncle. Now we even live for our own children. That was his uncle. So imagine, because they are white people. So white people believe raise the generational wealth than we. If you meet a white person, every time they say, my nana left me this, my grandfather left me this, my mom. When will I say my grandpa left? But how many Africans can stand and say, my grandpa left me, my grandma left, even my own mom? We leave them with debts. We leave them how they're going when we die. How are they going to bury us? I even spoke to somebody, and somebody's telling me, oh, I have a house. Even your house, there's something called inheritance
Yes.
tax in the
Yes.
UK. Inherited tax is 40% of
Yeah.
the value of your property. How will your children afford to pay that? Okay, I have a house. Will they afford inheritance tax when the government now was, because they will not, they have to. What have you done? I went to a funeral one day in Kenya. She had the wrong insurance in place. We were allowed. She did all funeral plan, which was good. So we didn't have to do the harambe. We didn't have to do the go for people coming. But we still came together as a people. We ate, we celebrated her. People knocking at the door telling us it's time, you need to leave this house. And that house was a mortgage.
Yeah.
But because a daughter, a child, any insurance to cover the she went. They took the house and her car, a brand new car in the house, and she left for her daughter. What is that? You've left it for the government.
You've
Hard
left
for
you've
what?
left wealth for the government. Exactly.
For the government,
Exactly.
because the government takes it. You've left a daughter who is now cursing you, probably upset with you, and then some people will say, "I'm dead. I don't care." Nobody knows when you die. You, maybe you're there looking at your child suffering and you're crying, and at you, or God is laughing at you. Look at your life, and you're seeing your life in the screen, and you're seeing. Nobody knows when you die where you're going. So we should stop with this rubbish that I am dead. I have to care. And you have to care that your grandchildren will kiss your picture. Grandma, thank you, grandpa, for the money that you left behind, because it's not even for your children, it's great grandchildren. Now, let's not even talk about our own body. We eat rubbish, we don't exercise, we use we take things like bleach, things like really horrible. We put it in our skin. We our melanin, we're melanin. We're not protected. We're just thinking of we bags. How many handbags can you carry? I only carry one. When that one is finished, then I seek for another. It's my life. And our bodies, we don't look after. We eat too much oil. We eat too much food. We don't exercise. So that is your wealth is also your health. Your health is your wealth. We're coming to networking. Your networking is your wealth as well. Networking, do that because we are forever fighting ourselves. Even if a very powerful woman, a woman of substance, or a man, but because of your character, your horrible, evil character, anybody, so that you get to your next step. Because God uses not another human. God cannot come from heaven and come down and say, okay, Lydia, I am God. No, God will bring me Lillian. God will bring me joy. God will bring me a human and say, go and help Lydia. But when they come to me, because of I cannot even network with anybody because I'm forever full of jealousy and and bitterness and all those things. They there's a toxic when you're angry and jealous and you are stressed, you're depressed. There's a toxic that releases our body. That toxic will create some disease and you will never be happy. So all those wealth. So when we talk about generation wealth, it's not just about the money side, but money is so important in our life. It's not the love of money, because it's the love of money that money is the one that pays your rent. So when we talk about generational wealth, I always insurance. Lydia is still breaking.
Yeah, I think you should log out. I completely, maybe you should get out completely and then you come back again behind stage. Yeah, thank you so much for telling us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate Lydia's. So I think she's going out. Completely log out, Lydia. Completely log out from the screen, and then you have to completely come out of this, and then we'll be back. But it's also a result of being betrayed and let down by those who called friends, networks, once bitten, twice shy. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Lydia, you should come out from behind. Oh, exactly. So she'll be back. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. I know when people saw the topic generational wealth, most of them will be thinking only about the money. As I said from the beginning, it's not only about the money. The money is just a pinch of it. It's all about the education that comes with a person's attitude and actions. Generational wealth is a civic responsibility to anyone that you love, be it your children, be it your community, be it your parents, your sisters, or your brothers. Once I said to an auntie of mine, saying, "What can I do for you? How can I help?" And she said, "Oh no, I have everything that I need. Just be sure that when I die, come and bury me." And I looked straight back in her eyes and said, "I won't come." I said, "I won't come." Not because I don't care, but I prefer she hears the word today and know that I will not be there and let me do what I have for her today. Because if this is what you want to leave me with, if this is the example that you want to leave me with, of this lady who just lived her life just like that, and hoping that when she's gone, somebody will bury her. To me, that's not a good example. I want to see you happy. I want to see you learn new stuff, new skills, do different things, go the places that you've never been, and say, my daughter, I want to do this. Help me to do this. Because when you teach me, when I see you trying, doing what you're doing, that is a generational wealth you're giving me. But by telling me when I die, come and bury me, that's the wealth you're giving me. That just live and wait for the day you die, then someone will bury you. That's what you're giving me. And I think this is a mistake in our culture. This is a lack of responsibility in our culture that has to change. When we talk about generational wealth, it's your children. What example are you showing your children or your community, your friends? Are you fit? Are you keeping safe? Are you trying new stuff? Are you learning new things? Are you asking questions? Are you in good network? Are you in good friendships, good relationships? How do you solve your problems? That's all what we carry from one generation to the other. Look at any child, they will repeat. I do the, if you ask them, why do you do it? Oh, because my parents did this. Oh, because my mom used to do it like this. Oh, or even you, if you like, even if you like something so much, you would tend to refer to someone. You learned it from somebody. That is generational wealth. So please do not take it from the financial sense only. Take it from everything else, everything. We're talking of health, we're talking of education, we're talking of finance, we are talking of fitness, we are talking of spirituality, everything. It's a package. It's not only about money. But since we are on a financial platform, we're going to be drifting more to the financial side of it. However, we want to remind you that it's a package. It's not only about the money. So let's see. Is she coming? Let me just give her the link again. Please share this live stream with your family and friends. Let's see if she's coming back. Are you coming back, Lydia? So, yeah, share with us who broke the chain of poverty for you. It can be spiritual poverty, it can be fitness, it can be wellness, it can be whatever. Who broke that chain for you? I hope it's you. I hope someone before you did it. And if no one did, do you have any intention of breaking that chain of poverty? Do you feel strong enough to ask for what's necessary for you to break that chain for your generation, for the next generations to come? Do you have what it takes? We're going to be talking about things like insurances or other ways how you can break this generational chain. And we're also going to be telling you that it's not as easy as it sounds. But we've got to start talking about it. We have to start thinking about it. And even if you don't get to start acting upon it, educate yourself on it so that the next generation are already equipped to break the chain. Is Lydia coming? Let's give her a few minutes to come back stage. Please share this video with your family and friends. Think of today's quote. Who is that one person in your family that broke the chain? Who? And if the person did not break the chain, someone started it. Someone, it could be your parents, your great grandparents that started it. I remember, as many of you know, I'm married. He passed away to a German, and I remember that an auntie of no, the wife of an uncle who had passed away had a winery, and when this auntie died, all it was distributed to all family members, even to the great great grandchildren. I was like, wow, how is this possible? In Africa, they will keep it to themselves, don't want to share. But since in this community, people have theirs, they don't need to keep it to themselves. And that's why we have to talk about it. Yay! We see you brighter than ever. Thank you so much.
I had to run to another room.
And it's much better. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did because you gave some values and we could not hear anything. So we're going back to the definition. We're going back
Yeah.
to the definition of generational wealth so people can really hear us. This is valuable. You have valuable information and we should talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to generational wealth, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about money. We're talking about knowledge. We're also talking about our own health, and we're talking about our network. And when it comes to network, it's more about our mental state as well and our character. Okay. So like I was talking about character, network, they always say your network is your wealth because of the people you know, because only it will only take one person to take you to the next level that
Yes.
you have been waiting for. God will never come from heaven and say, okay, Lydia, now I'm sitting with you. No, God will always use a vessel to talk to you. And the vessel is the human being. So God will bring you somebody. And because of your character, you brush that person away because you're always full of anger, jealousy, envy. You know, if somebody is doing something, instead of supporting, because God can bring somebody to you just to support them. And because you supported that person, wonderful things will happen to you. But because I don't want to support Lillian, I want to do what she's doing. I want to compete with her. Because of that, you've lost your blessings because God uses vessels. So we should come to the realization that yes, I saw before I left that somebody said maybe somebody betrayed you, somebody hurt you once,
Yes.
beaten, shy.
Yes.
You cannot live your life because somebody betrayed you
Thank you.
yesterday, because that is called fear of the unknown. Oh my God, yesterday Lillian really hurt me. Today I'm meeting with Angela. Angela will hurt me too. So you put a block, you put a defense mechanism. It's called defense mechanism. So you put your defense mechanism up and you don't want to open your door. It's the same thing as love. When you've been in love before and you are betrayed by your husband or your wife, now you want to put that defense mechanism around you so nobody else can break through. You can never get love because you're scared. Oh, my husband did this, my wife did this. Now you're scared to live. You cannot live like that. Yes, if Lydia hurt you yesterday and Margaret comes to you today, Margaret is not Lydia. So we need to identify that Margaret is not Lydia. What is Margaret? What does Margaret want? So you need to come, and that is why prayers is very important, because we have to always pray for God to give you a spirit of intercession. So you see, when you're interceding for yourself and interceding for your family, also God will give you a spirit of discernment. So we have to pray for discernment spirit. So as your friend comes, you discern what this person wants. So discernment spirit is very important to have, and it's only God who can give you. And also when it comes to our health, we eat the wrong things. We are always eating late. We do not exercise.
You are just on point, madam. When you left, I was saying that education is all about all of these things, your health, so you are perfect. But there is somebody here who is saying something amazing, and we should really, before we lose the comment, look at this.
Let's start with how many of us even have wills done already. That's it. Many people now believe that if you have a will, riches before you can have a will. Trust me, that is, yes. Okay, I'll talk about that.
Yes.
I'll talk about that because that is part of the insurance, and that is part of the things that we provide as an insurance company. Every time I'm giving somebody insurance, the next thing I ask, do you have a will? 90% of my clients always say no, no, no. Why? Some people always say, oh, I don't want to write a will because my husband or my wife will kill me. I don't want to write a will because I don't want to die. Will has nothing to do with you dying.
I'm afraid. I must tell you straight up, I don't have a will. I'm afraid. And
You
it
need
happened,
to have one.
it happened to me also, when my husband passed away, and we were sitting there and they said, did he leave any will? No. You guys do not have any kind of contract that, no.
No.
No, we have all the insurances possible, but honestly, still speaking, sitting here, I have all whatever you may think, as I told you in my message, but writing this, oh, I've said it to somebody. If anything happens, everything goes to them. I've said it verbally, but to write, I am so scared.
No, but writing a will means nothing. Writing a will doesn't
Yeah,
mean
to
doing
you,
that.
but
Writing a will is just putting things in place that, because the thing is, especially people who are married.
yeah,
If you're married to another, probably your husband left or died and you've remarried, or it's either a wife or a husband. It happens to both. You have children, and then the person died, God forbid, the man or woman, whoever died. You've left your children. This other person is going to take all the money and spend it with another wife or another man, and your children will suffer just because you did not sign that dot. Your will
okay,
doesn't mean that you're gonna die.
hold on. There are other ways to that instead of a will. There are other ways to that you can, when you are in relationship with, for example, me as a widow, if in a relationship, I will make it clear that everything that was before goes to my children. That's
Yeah,
not
but
the will.
who are you making it clear to? To who are
No,
you saying it
you
to?
go to a lawyer, you go to a notaire, and you put all of these things down.
But that is will. That is a will.
Okay, so
That is the way it is. It's so simple. So you have a will. So you have a will. That is a will. Because a will is declaration. A will, what a will is declaration of
yeah,
who is going to be your beneficiary after you've left. That
yeah.
is what it is. Now you've gone to a lawyer, told the lawyer, if anything happened to me, this should go to so and so and so and so. That is a will. That is all the will is. It's just
Yeah, they kind of have a couple of stuff, some places and some names. Yeah,
you need to know that you need to
we
know
don't.
that. And this matter of will is very important because
Yeah,
we a lot, especially that as Africans, white people, they all have wills. The white people have their wills. Black people, because one type thing they're thinking of is, let me even tell you something. Everybody who is listening to me today, every single human being is going to die. You are going to die. I'm going to die. Everybody's going to die. The only thing is when and how and where that we don't know. That is only left to God. But God is so wonderful that He has taken that memory of us going to die one day out of our minds. We don't walk thinking, oh, one day I'm going to die. No. Thank you, Jesus. God has taken that out of our memory. But it's something that is going to happen to all of us, regardless. So we writing a will or having insurance is not, I'm going to die, let me take an insurance or take a will. No, 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 no. That's no meaning. It just means that you've prepared for things in case of eventuality, because eventuality happens. Who knew that one day COVID would come? Let me tell you, my sister, how many times were we watching movies? We've watched movies that all the town is isolated.
We've
And
seen it
we've
before, yeah.
seen it before. Did we ever think that one day that will happen to us? Never.
No.
But it has happened. We've been isolated for 3 months here in the UK. It was like ghost town. You go up
Everywhere.
north,
In Europe, in
in
Paris,
America, in Kenya, everywhere. It was
yeah.
ghost town. These are things we used to see in the movie. Nobody knew to happen. So when you see that, or death is happening, this is happening, and you think it will never happen to you, it will one day, but only God knows when. So when that happens, let your children say, oh my God, my dad is gone, my mom is gone, but at least we are not broke. They are broken, but not broke. But if you live broken and broke is equal to what?
And
Broken and broke.
I confirm to that because I've lived it. When my was 3 years ago, when my husband passed away, I could see the panic in my kids' face, especially my daughter. She could understand, and she said, "Oh, do we have to leave this house? Where are we going to stay?" Oh, and I said to her, "No, we are not changing anything, and we haven't changed anything. As I keep saying, I've changed one thing. I gave one car away. That's all.
So imagine,
Yeah,
just
simply
imagine.
because I have only two hands and I don't want to pay extra insurance for two cars in the garage. I have only two hands. That one car stay in the garage for 1 year. No one used it, so I gave it away.
Yeah,
Simple. That's the only thing. I
simple.
still stay in my house. I still have the lifestyle. I still keep the properties. I have the insurance. I still have my job. There are things you can do, and I am passionate about this topic, and I want to push women through it because I keep saying 80% of women will die widows, while 80% of men will die married. Women get hit more than the men. And
Yeah.
things like insurances, you're preparing your kids. Now my kids know there is something called bills you have to pay. You have to first pay this before you start buying that. You have to
Yes.
first do this before you start thinking of vacation. There is no
Mhm.
such thing as the biggest iPad or the biggest ice.
Mhm.
They're still in their private school. Everything is still, nothing changed for them because
Mm.
there was a preparation in place. And that is the education. It's not even the money. It's not the
Yes.
money. They're now a 9 and 7 and they know this. So imagine when they are 20, what will happen? They will carry
Yes.
this on. They will
Exactly.
carry this on.
Exactly. And it's so sad. When people have no knowledge, I'm telling you, knowledge is power. Even the Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. People who don't have, I've spoken to people who are telling me, no, 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 no. God loves me. I will not die. I'm gonna die at 100. So let me ask you. So the people who die when they're young, don't you tell me God hates them?
Yeah.
So God doesn't love them. God hates them. So you think they're the only person that God loves so much that you live at 110 because God loves everybody. There's nobody that God doesn't love. So you cannot tell me that no, 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 me, God loves me so much. That is total ignorance. You have to think of your children. You have to. So now let's just say I want to use your example, but I'm using your example because you've said it already yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So imagine if when your husband died, you had nothing. Your children would never go to private school. You change the house. So
Yeah.
imagine the stress and
Yeah.
the depression that you've left your
On
children
a
with.
4-year-old child, 4 and 6-year-old. Imagine that.
Imagine
Four
that.
and six.
And you have to leave that house because now you are paying. It was two money coming in for the husband and the wife. Now it's only one money coming in. You have children to look after. How are you going to cope? You have to downsize. You have to downsize to a smaller house. If your children were going to private school, they have to now go to the normal school. If your children were wearing this, they have to stop eating too much, the things they were eating. Everything has to downsize. Why
Yeah.
would you put your children in that stress when you were alive? You was wasting 10 months. Let me calculate for you. This is how I even tell my children I tell my children to save. Yeah. I tell my children, because I know that in life, £10, I say £10 because I live in the UK. Yeah. We spend every day, somebody spends more than £10 a day. Okay, now
Yes.
I'm only using £10 a day. £10 is nothing. So take £10 a day. £10 times 7, that is £70 a week. Now
Yeah.
£70 times the £70 times 4, yeah, a month you have £280 that you've
Yeah.
wasted
Yeah.
on food that you are not creates things that you can live without. You've wasted it on clothes. You've wasted, how many lipstick can you wear? Somebody has 10 lipstick, 15 lipstick. I don't know which one. I don't know how many clothes. Things that are unnecessary, because when you die, those things will not help your children. Those things will not help your grandchildren. £280 a month, just £10. Some people waste more than that, and some people, yes, less than, but £10 a day. Now,
Yeah.
this 280, if I take this 280 and divide it by 2, it's only 140. Let me say, okay, I want to take 140 and put it in insurance every month, and 140, let me use it. £140 every month for insurance. That will leave your children with £1,000,000 when you die.
Yeah.
The thing is, nobody knows when they're going to die. Yes, we have to invest. Investment is important. Investment is very important. But who guarantees you that you have 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to live? Nobody is guaranteed even the next minute. We lost a 24-year-old girl here. She's a YouTuber, so probably you know her because she was in the newspaper everywhere. The girl was 8 months pregnant. She just had
Victoria!
at 24. Who gets heart attack at 24? Seriously. And immediately she got a severe heart attack. She died. And she died with her child
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Pregnant and that. Yeah, I saw that.
at
Yeah.
24. So
Yeah.
you, a big woman at 40 or 30, telling me, oh, God loves me, nothing will happen to me. So you want to tell me God did not love that 24-year-old?
And the
Of course God
baby,
loves.
and the baby who never saw that.
And the baby never even saw life. So we have to be wisdom. Use wisdom. Be wise like a serpent. Be wise like a serpent. That is how the Bible says, be wise. Let's use wisdom. That 140, you put it on the side. If you truly, and there's a tape that I had, one guy said in America that black people are selfish. Indeed, we are. We are very selfish, because even for your own children, you cannot leave something for your children. But
You
when
cannot
you're
make,
alive,
you're not making the effort for them. Yeah.
you can't. You say, oh, they're spending, but I'm buying them shoes and clothes. That is not what you're supposed. Even your children will respect you. Let me tell you a story. One day I was in my kitchen cooking, and my daughter, she was in the living room with her friends. And it was this corona time, and they were discussing, and they said, if your mom was to die, what will happen to you? First of all, my daughter said, God forbid. But if that was to happen, because there's always a bat in life. In this life, there's always a bat. And that is what people don't want to understand. People always say, no, there's always a but. So my daughter, who is a little child, but she had the brains of saying, my mom will never die, that God forbid. But if it was to happen, my mom has left so much insurance for us. So we have money, we'll never suffer. When she said that, I was in the kitchen, I pretend like I didn't hear, because you don't want to interfere with your children's thing in discussion. I pretend like I didn't hear, but I was proud of myself. I was proud that my children are proud that they know that their mom have looked after them. And because I've shown them where the papers are, I've shown them everything. They know that if mom was to die tomorrow, God forbid, but if mom was to go, we are settled. Financially, they will never struggle. My children will never struggle. I can say that to the whole planet. You know, yesterday, when that 24-year-old girl died, her friend, one of her friends, started a GoFundMe page for her. The family went over the roof. They were angry. They said, who asked you to do the GoFundMe? Take it down. Take it
Yeah.
down. So my daughter now asked me, Mom, do you think she did the wrong thing? I said, personally, everybody has their own. But personally, if my dad was to pass, or my mom, or my sister, or brother, God forbid, I wouldn't mind if anybody does GoFundMe. But if my child was to die, I will never want to see my child's picture here, GoFundMe here. No, 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 no. That is personal to me. And that is so, I mean, my child, oh, mother hen, I always call myself mother hen. When mother hen comes out, Nobody likes that. I will not want my children, my child, if God forbid, if anything was to happen that my child passed on, that my child is on one page, people are saying, no, I wouldn't want that. So my daughter, I told my daughter that yes, that is how the parents are feeling. They don't want their daughter's picture placed somewhere that they're collecting money for her, even though it's for a good cause, but they don't want that. So it's understandable.
It's a person. This is what we in. Again, it's coming from our culture, from the black man's way of thinking that this clan, this togetherness, it's a good thing. Yes, it's a good thing, but to a certain limit, because that's begging. That's begging. So I see the point of that family, really angry because who asked you?
You
Really?
ask. And the thing is, Lillian, as well, I do not mind the community coming together. It's a brilliant thing. But why do they only wait when you're dead? When they tell them you have cancer, when they tell them you don't have a job, you're suffering. Somebody will call you. I saw one lady who committed suicide. I've seen a lot of people who committed suicide on Facebook, and people say, oh, she could have spoken to us. Probably she did. Nobody listened.
Yes.
When people are going through mental illness, they will call you, they will talk to you, they'll ask for help. People will say, Ule, she likes begging. If they see you calling them, they will not even pick up because they know you
Yes.
asked them 20
Yes.
pounds, 30 pounds.
Yes.
And then when you were dead, now they
Yes.
want to give 100 pounds. Get out. Why
Because,
is it that this our community is we only get together when someone dies? Why don't we get together when somebody's sick? Why don't
because
you get
there's
together when
free there's free food and there's free drinks. Before you came, I was saying exactly the same thing that one of my aunties know. I said to her, "What can I do? How can I help?" She said to me, "Oh, don't worry, I have everything. Don't worry about that. But just make sure when I die, come and bury me." And I looked straight in her eyes and I said to her, "I'm not coming.
Mhm.
If that's the heritage you want to give me, this image that you have that I cannot help, and wait to come and bury you, I'm not coming."
Yeah. Mhm.
Somebody has to break this way of thinking.
Yes.
Let's take some questions. Let's go back, because if not, we will miss. We were talking about parents, Africans being selfish about the kids. Then she said, Toki said, they say they are abroad in good schools, so no need to leave anything. They are living for now. It's
Can you
crazy.
imagine? It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It
That
is
is
crazy.
crazy. Because okay, you're paying a good money for your child. But the only thing I always have problem with black people is one, who guarantee you all those years that you're thinking, but my child is in a private school. When they finish school, they'll get a good job. Who even told you when they finish private school, they'll get a good job? There is no guarantee in this life. There is no guarantee for tomorrow. So you have something, even though you're taking your children to a private school, it's good for them to go to a private school because private school gives good education. Yes, it is good. It's a good environment. It's a good background. It's a good work ethics in a body in a private school. Good, but also at the side, I have seen women, my sister, who their husbands are rich. I have seen them. Their husbands are rich. The day the husband dies, that is it. She'll
Yeah.
end up in a slum, and she'll be
Yes.
there telling story. Oh, my husband was so rich, and now when he died, why did you that when he was still alive? Think of your children. Think of the future. And you know why that happens is because we are living in a box thinking God loves me so much, I'll only die at 100, at 120. That is not how life works. Think of generational wealth. Think of your children. Take insurance. Insure yourself. Insurance is the best money you can leave for your children. That is the best because yes, we are. If you start investing, it's good to invest. But you've given yourself 5 years goal or 10 years goal. Within 5 years, I want to save 20,000 pounds within 5 years. Within 10 years, I want to save 100,000 pounds. But the thing is, you are not guaranteed that 5 years or 10 years. So as much as you're saving these 5 years and 10 years, also have plan B. And plan B is if I was to drop tomorrow, God forbid, there's insurance for my children. There's insurance left for my children. But meanwhile, let me invest. So this 280 that we calculated here with you, my darling, and it's only 10 pounds that are calculated, not 15, not 20. These 10 pounds that are calculated every day, divide it into two. One, let it go to insurance. The other one, let it go to savings. Put it on your savings. Because your savings, you don't know when you will go. But the 140, put it on insurance, because if you are to go before your 5 years plan or your 10 years plan, there is plan B in the bucket for the children.
What do
And
we have to say? What do we have to say to Joy here, to Mercy here? Thank you for bringing up the selfish part. It boils down to that exactly. I believe everyone should have a savings for their funeral alone.
exactly.
You
They
are tough,
should.
Mercy. You are tough. It goes back
They
to the
should.
will thing, to write your own will and then to have money for the funeral.
Yes. Because insurance, when you have insurance, life insurance, that's for the funeral. Life insurance goes down to your funeral. That is life insurance. Because if you die, they will give your family that money, and that money is for your life insurance. So that is why it's good to have a will, because that will, you say, I have 100,000 for insurance. If I die, 20,000 should be given to Lydia to prepare my funeral. So if Lydia was to die before you make sure you fund immediately to change that plan, because now Lydia is gone. So you go and say, okay, now if I'm changing my will because Lydia is gone. If I was to die, now it's Anthony who should bury me. 20K given to Anthony, 80,000, 10,000 given to this given to this, my husband given zero, or my wife given zero. You have to put that in a will. You cannot live thinking I will live until I'm 100. That is everybody's dream, but not all dreams come true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had it.
So,
I mean, me and my spouse, we had it. So I know exactly what you're talking about, how it works, when it kicks in, what it's. So there was absolutely no problem with that. And with those Africans living in diaspora, you have a system that already protects you by default.
yes, yes.
Let's just hold it at that point. By
Mhm.
default, by you not doing something, something will happen. That's the default.
Mhm. Can you imagine people who are selfish saying that if I die, I'm dead, they will bury me? Who is going to bury you? When you, and then they even, some of them even go as much as saying, I want to be repatriated. Who is going to repatriate you? Have you left anything behind for repatriation?
Yeah. And Mercy says African parents leave their kids in debt. I agree. Pain, poverty, and most of the time.
That is the truth.
It
That
is the
is the
truth.
truth.
And they, as you rightly said, and they even have the courage to say, take me back home. For God's sake, it costs minimum $10,000 and you have none.
And you have none. You can say that if you have something, then I'll be happy to even go with you, even pay for my own ticket and take you home. You have nothing. And you're there dictating to others that if I die, I want to be repatriated. You're dictating and you have nothing. That is so wrong. And I think it's time for us as diaspora to stop lying to ourselves, because we wait for somebody to die and then we give £10, £15. But when that person was sick, that is when they need us the most. People do not need you when they are dead. They need you when they are alive.
Yeah, yeah.
They need you when they cannot work and they cannot pay for their bills. I've seen people who are living, they don't even have, they cannot even pay for electricity to have a heater in the house. They put on the gas, they are cold in the house, and yet they're in a community is waiting for them to die to start coming together and start giving money, or so and so is dead, let's collect money. The person died in a hospital. Now, there was a guy here in the UK during this COVID time. His detail just went through one day. So nobody, this guy, the day that his detail came out, almost 10 people called the hospital. When I called, including me, when I called, they now said, wow, I've never seen such a community with so much love, that they called one person so many times. But where were you for the 2 months? That's what the woman asked me. Where were you for those 2 months? I felt pain. So you want to tell me this guy had no family, he had no friends, no friends knew that this guy was in the hospital for 2 months. Do you understand? So when the woman told me that, I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my God, I wish I didn't know. He said, the phone calls that I've received are wonderful, but where were you guys for the past 2 months that this man was in the hospital by himself? 2 months. And then if that guy died, that is when we are running to give money. That is when you see platform upon platform, give £10, £15, £20. That is when we are running. He needs us more when he's alive. We need each other when we are alive. When you're dead, cater for your own funeral. Do your own plan. Have a funeral plan. Have insurance. How you're going to look after your children. Because the other thing is, yes, people say when somebody dies and you see, they always say budget. Budget is 10K, 8K, 20K. Fair enough. We've done that budget to bury you. What happens to your children? What next? Okay,
It,
we've taken.
it's like the most important thing is that you die, and anything
Yes.
else, and people will not even call your children afterwards. You know, I've seen, I am in it. I am in it. Really, right now, when I see some of the people that what some of the things my husband did for them, and they've never even called, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wow,
Yeah.
wow,
They walk home because they think their £10 or their £15
was
means
enough.
something enough because they're taking your body home or they're going to bury you. What about your children? What happens next? It's what happens next that you, as a parent, should think about before you die. You should think that if I was to go, yes, I always contribute for the community. They will contribute towards my death, fair enough. But what will happen to my children? Nobody should lie to you that they will look after your children like you do.
So this Turkey is saying they are taking their kids to look after them when they. There was one time I did a live stream on this saying that parents are using African parents are we are using our children or they are using us as their life insurance, which is
Yes.
which is. But I got so many rejections. So many people sent me messages. Who the hell do you think you are? Why do you criticize it? Well, I just said
It's the truth.
look at it again in case you're blind. Look at it again or try to run away from those people and see, just listen to the words they tell you, then you understand how much you've taken away what they were hoping for from you.
And that is why you see people in the diaspora, they start drinking, they start smoking. I've seen a lot of people who, when they were in their country of origin, they were not smoking or drinking, but they come here because of the stress back home. Every day phone call. You didn't send money. So and so have not paid their rent. So and so have not eaten. Your parents stressing you, your family stressing you, everybody's on your back. What can you do? And that is why the other day we were even having a conversation about the girls that go on Facebook and they start talking, they get drunk or they take pills and then they go on Facebook, they start showing their breasts, they start showing their private parts, they start misbehaving. It's because of the stress, too much stress from back home. And it's the same thing. The parents, they think, oh, now I've educated you. Now it's your time. It's your time. Now you're our insurance policy. You cannot do that. Yes, parents do that. Siblings do that. One person, they'll work so hard for one person to leave their country of origin, to go to the diaspora, and then become their bank.
Yes, yes, it's a right. We did this for you, and this is how you pay us back. Or you are, yeah. It becomes a right to them. But I'm repeating myself, and I will keep repeating this information. You have to be glad that that child chose you as a parent. You know how many people are waiting to be parents? I was
Yes.
waiting to be a parent.
Mhm.
We waited for a long time, long time. I had my first child at 38, long time. So it's a privilege. And if the continent or we Black people, we African people do not start looking at our children as treasures rather than bank accounts, we are not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why people living in diaspora are so stressed. They're so depressed because they live for others. They don't live for themselves. It's really less time that you live for yourself. They live for others. But this and this, yes, 100% you need to help your parents. I believe in that. You need to help your parents. But if there's a situation that you cannot go and steal money. You cannot go and sell your body just because, oh my God, if I don't, my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother, I'm paying for which cousin. Some people are paying for the entire village is their responsibility.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because of that, they're in this country, they cannot afford even £1 to pay for insurance. They cannot afford to even live in a good house. They cannot afford to eat properly because they're the ones looking after the entire village.
And
And they know,
the problem is not only the pain. The problem is it's a continuous pain for the rest of your life. For
yes,
the rest of your life.
yes,
For the rest of your life. And even after you're gone, they jump on your kids.
yes,
This is generational poverty. From one, we
yes.
know how to do this poverty from one generation to the next, but we are not capable of creating the wealth from one generation to the
And
next.
another.
The theory is the same, huh? It's the same. is that you pay for there is no way where this money can be used in a successful way that they can generate money for themselves. No, it's like every month till you die. And
Constant.
after that,
Constant.
your children will continue.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, when you're doing all that, you're looking after the people back home at the expense of who? The expense of your children. Because your children will never see mommy or daddy. Your
Yeah.
children don't have time with you. All you do is buy them in expensive things. So you replace your presence and your advice with expensive things. How many children do we see? How many black children do we see in the streets killing each other every day? Dealing with drugs every day, fighting every day, because their parents are not even home to talk to them. Because all they know is my dad or my mom is going to bring nice trainers for me if I ask, because whatever they ask for, because we are working so hard, we are not there for our children. We are not, and that's why when this corona happened, I said everybody should come out differently. We should now value family. We should know that look, a lot of black people were not working, or a lot of people were not working. So those black people that have always been sending money home, that time of corona, they didn't send anything. They were home with their children. Did those people in Africa die? Did they die? They continue with their life. So this is the time that you should think that, oh my God, so I didn't send money these 2 months, but these people still survived. And I was home with my children. Now, your priority should be your immediate nuclear family, and that is your children, number one. Your children should not suffer because I have to train the whole village. Your children should be number one. And if you cannot put your children number one, yes, be content with what you have. If I have to cut my hours and stay with my children and advise them and teach them their culture, teach them their tradition, teach them the value of life for them to be good citizens tomorrow in the community and the society, not for people to come and knock my door every day. Police, every time my heart is jumping. Oh my God, where's my child? Where's my son? Have they been stabbed? Have they stabbed somebody? Are they the gang? Because you're never there. You are forever working because you want to build an empire and impress. Who are you impressing? In the benefit of who? Your children? Come on, black people, it's time to wake up. Let's change the game. Let's change the narrative. Let's change our story. Let's start rewriting things differently.
Yeah. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Yeah. We have to talk about it because it cannot continue. Again, this is generational poverty. It is generational poverty. So the principle is the same. We could sit here talk about investment, or we could sit here saying we should keep the culture as it is, send money back home. Boop, 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 boop. So it's the same. It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
And what you're forgetting, I always tell people tell me that it's because this money, oh my God, Lydia, I'm sending so much. And I said, okay, fine. You're sending all that money back home. Well, if you die, who will help those people? Who will help them? And who will help your children? Yeah? And that's why I always calculate with 10 pounds. I say, take that 10 pounds, divide it times a month is 280. Divide that times 2. One is investment, one is insurance. If anything was to happen to you before your 5 years goal or your 10 years goal, you have insurance that your children will lie back onto. So even those people that you're helping back home, that insurance can still help them. Because if you're so passionate about I'm teaching children back home, I'm paying school fees. If anything happens to you, there's still insurance that you've left behind that can even still help those children's school fees.
Yeah.
But when you're gone, now everybody suffers. Because Lydia is gone, now everybody suffers. The children that she was helping in Kenya start suffering. Her own children are suffering. Her own parents are suffering. Why? Because I was working and I didn't have the wisdom to take money aside and say, this is my savings, this is my insurance. If my 5 goal, God help me for me to be here for those 5 years, I do what I wanted to do. My 10 years goal, I do what I wanted to do if I'm there. And I pray that I'm there. But if I'm not there, there's a but. But if I'm not there, there's insurance money that my children will go back to. Because even with investment, sometimes the investor he has not generated the value that you wanted. How many of us do you buy shares? Shares take time to generate. So you've taken all your money, maybe 10,000 pounds, you put it in a share. By the time maybe something is happening to you, you're dying. It's only 3,000 pounds left because we all know share goes up and down, up and down. The share has to mature. Whatever you're investing is not matured yet. When it has not matured, you have insurance. Let us break generational poverty.
I agree with you completely. And that also, as I said, we could use it both way to create generational wealth or continue generational poverty because everything needs to mature.
Yeah,
Those who send their children to Europe or to abroad, okay, they expect to tweet immediately to start sending money and send
yeah,
until you die, okay?
yes,
Just like wealth, it takes time to mature. They don't
yeah,
give the children the space to mature. They don't
yeah,
give them the time to settle. They don't give them the time to build a life where you can
yeah.
say, "Oh, now I'm settled. I can start helping." No, it has to be immediate and
Immediately.
every month until. So we should think about how we are doing this. Let me take the last comment, then we move to the next topic. 100-year plan. Look at the families in the West today. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Absolutely. So we've spoken about all the consequences that we see of lack of generational wealth. Have you or are you in the process of creating generational wealth, and why?
Is that my question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Personally, like I said, I've sat down with my children as well and my me self with me in front of the mirror. So having a meeting with myself. The way it is, in an African culture or in my Kenyan culture, we have tribes. And in every tribe, as much as we are an African culture, we have our own similarities in cultures as an African continent. We also have similarities as a country and as a tribe. Also, we also have our own things inside the Africa. We also have our own things as different countries and different tribes. Now, in my tribe in Kenya, my tribe, they're not really good at buying property or saving. That's not, we're not taught that.
Yeah.
We have a tribe called Kikuyu, which they are very good at saving. From when they are little, they are told. So if you're talking to somebody who is a Kikuyu, they'll tell you, simiti ngapi means how many cement? How many cement? If anything, you tell them, hey, Lydia, you want me to spend 100 pounds? Hey, how many cement is that? So from young, they are taught how to invest. They are taught how to save. Some tribe are taught how to buy nice things. My tribe, we always just buy nice things and we live big and we live large. But when you die, you have nothing left. So, me being from that tribe, I had to sit with myself in a meeting and I said, seriously, Lydia, as much as this is your tribe and this is what a lot of people from your tribe know or do, and it's not everybody because we have so many people who have left that room. Remember, we're talking about a room and there's a door, and you're curious what is behind that door. There's a lot of people who have left that door from my tribe and they've thought, you know what, investment is something that I have to do. So I left that door, sat with myself, and I said, I calculated all this, I juggled this round, and I said, you know, and my mom as well. My mom left that door a very long time ago. My mom also taught me or us how to deal with investment and everything because she used to be in property. My mom did so many things, jack of all trades. But a lot of things that she did failed because there was no planning. Because the
Yeah.
thing is, you have to plan. If you have no plan, nothing will succeed. So my mom did a lot of things. Bless her, she's a very powerful woman, and I think I've followed 100% of her footsteps. She she did a lot of things, but without plan. So a lot of things she did. This one failed. This one failed. This one failed. But at least at the time that they were successful, they she looked after us with that at that time. So I sat down, did my own planning, and said, you know what? I want to see my grandchildren kiss my picture and say, thank you, grandma, for this you left us. And I want their children to say, wow, once upon a time we had a great grandma. Her name was Lydia Olet. She left this, and then this, and then this. That is my plan for generational wealth. And that is why I sat with myself and I said, if I save this, if I tell you insurances that I have, sometimes when I look at them, I think I'm crazy. I have
Yeah.
so many insurances in place, every single insurance, because I know if anything was to happen to me today, my children and their children and their children. I said, because I've taught them how to save. I said, if anything was to happen to me, I don't want you to take this money, go and buy a car, go an expensive car, because the car immediately comes out from the showroom, its value goes down.
Depreciation. Depreciation.
Exactly. So this is what you should do. This is how you should save. My daughter, even 14-year-old, she's saving already because I told her save £1. If that's what you can afford right now, you're only 14, you're not working. Save £1 every day. That is still a lot of money if you're saving £1 every day. She's just a young child. So this is how I'm planning to get out of this circle of generational poverty. My children will never live in poverty like I did. I refuse. And their children will never live in poverty. I refuse. So that is the reason why I have to do what I'm doing now. So my generation, children, grandchildren, great grandchildren will never live in poverty. So that is
I
why
stand
I'm
with
doing
you.
generational wealth.
I see it clear. If you are in it, you know, I have insurances. I have the one for if I retire, if I lose my job and I don't
Mhm.
retire. But those are the things you have to pay for 40 years. It's not something you pay in one day, you know.
Yeah.
I have
Even
one
if you're
for
sick.
additional retirement because you know, you and I, we know, those who are in business, you know, or those of you working, you know that where you are working now from your 9 to 5 job, you might end up with thousand euros or $1,000 of retirement money. Let's just be clear on that if you've not
Mhm.
done your calculation yet. So I have an additional one for that, just in case. I have for the work for my children. I have bond stocks. I have real estate, and it's still not enough. Normally,
Mhm.
wealthy people have 10,
Yeah.
10 source of income streams. 10.
Mhm.
So I'm still catching up, but that's already plenty. But the education itself that it gives to my children, when we bring out this paper and there's this bit, I say, oh, this is for the insurance for this. My daughter said, but you did that insurance. I said, no, this is another one. I said, another one. They see, they get to understand the mechanism that's behind it. So how can, yes, I have done it. I have many of it. You understand what I mean. And the reason why I do this is just because no one needs to suffer as I suffered.
Yes.
Just
Exactly.
suffer once. Once. It's enough.
Mhm.
It's enough.
Yeah. It's enough.
Because life itself has its own preparation for you. Just like my children.
Mhm.
4 year old, you lose your dad. Hello? No one can prevent that.
Yes.
Those are the things we cannot prevent. But poverty, we can prevent. And that's
Yes.
why let me be the one to suffer. I brought you to this world. I want to take my
Mhm.
responsibility. That's why I said from the beginning,
Yes.
it's a civic responsibility to the ones that you love. I brought you here. I am responsible until I'm gone. And after I'm gone,
Mhm.
one person suffering is plenty because life itself has its own problems.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how can, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you said nobody could have prevented death happening, and nobody can foresee it either. We cannot foresee it. So, so much so that you cannot foresee. That's why you need to prepare because nobody will tell you. And I also say, in terms of insurance as well, right now we have a lot of people in the Black community that are suffering things like stroke, suffering things like heart attack, suffering things like cancer. If that was to happen to you, God forbid, what then? What is your next step? Because we know, like when something like that happens, is first of all, it's a massive thing to take on in your brain, in your mind. That what I have, what do you understand? First of all, it's a shock on itself. Now you will not go to work, stress will come in. So imagine you are in the house, you've suffered heart attack, or you've suffered stroke, or you've suffered cancer, or liver failure, or kidney failure, and then now you're in the house, you're in the house recovering. Your children will still come to you and say, "Mommy, oh mommy, so sorry, but mommy, there's no this, mommy, there's no bread, mommy, I want new shoes." Oh, what are you going to do now? Imagine now you cannot even provide for your children, but you're alive and you're seeing what's happening. That will make you feel so sad, and it will make you get more sicker. You'll be more sicker. Now, if you have insurance, this is called critical illness insurance. If you have insurance for critical illness, they will give you 50,000 cash. They'll give you 60,000 cash. If that money can help you a long way as you wait to recover. So it's not just about life insurance, it's also critical illness, and all those are generational wealth. Because if you're sick and you're in the house and you have nothing, that is circle of poverty again. But if you have something that is wealth, you're generating wealth. And when they give you that 60,000, you don't take it and go and squander it. You say, okay, you know what? Now let me plan. I have this money now in cash here. Let me take 40K, put it in this property
Yeah.
right now to
Yeah.
generate it for my children. And let me
Yeah.
take this 20K, do this with it. And then this 10K, do this, and this 10K, do this. 40, let me buy this house that I've always wanted to buy. In Africa, that 40K can buy you a house. And immediately you put people and people will start renting the house.
Of course. Of
From
course.
just because they found you with cancer. But now they found that you have cancer, you have no insurance, you have no work, you have bills. If you're a single mom, you're now in double trouble, double trouble. Do you understand? So you need peace of mind. And I can tell you, insurance can give you peace of mind. Either you're sick, you're out of work, or you're dead.
We have been negative. We have so many viewers. We know we've given you the most negative form of it. Let's come out of it. Let's come out of that side. But you know it's the reality, and we have to talk about it because it's going to hit us. It's hitting somebody right now. Right now, as we
Yeah,
speak, it has happened. It just happened. Every time you
yeah,
click your finger, it has happened. Every time, every second, it's happening somewhere. There's also the positive side of it. What if you decide, as I said, one person is enough to suffer? What if you've decided you've suffered enough, you had enough, and you want to pre-retire? Do you see how the generational wealth can come into it with insurances? I have such insurance where I will pay for 40 years and it gives me this amount. What if you pay for a longer time or a shorter time and it gives you shorter amount if you want to pre-retire because you've had enough, because this stress is enough, because people are having stroke, heart attack and everything. And we know we are preconditioned to it. I already have high blood pressure. We are preconditioned to it. What if you start making this plan now today and you say, in 10 years, I want to pay for this so I can shorten my work time and do just the things that I like or do the job that I like that brings me joy? Generational wealth can help you with that.
yeah,
There's so many ways. There are so many ways. What if you decide today and say, okay, I have this money sitting in my account. It's not giving me any interest. I'd rather put it in a real estate so that I will have money. It's
yeah,
working for me. I have
yeah.
done it. It's working
Mhm.
for me.
It
It is
works.
working for me. So
Mhm.
don't tell me it doesn't because it is working for me. And I will
Mhm.
stand here proudly say I've done it. So don't think all of the negative side. But the negative side is so important. That's why insurances came to place anyway to begin
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
So people can hear us talk about this and they say we're in Africa, we don't have this money. There are insurances in Africa and they're even much more beneficial. But the way we live our
Yes.
lifestyles, the way we live our lifestyle doesn't even make room for that savings for insurance.
Mhm.
Hello? Point number
Mhm.
one. Number two, those of us in diaspora will think, okay, we have a job and the government would help us. But for how long? In
Um,
Switzerland, if you have a job in Switzerland, you lose your job, you have 2 years to find another one. After that, you're on your own. Hello? We're in Switzerland. So look in the rules again and see where they fall short and start thinking how you want to help yourself. Insurance is not the cheapest, but you have all sorts of insurance at all price. Start low and you can then increase later, but do
yeah.
something. Do something. So
And then
how
also,
can we start? How can we start creating generational wealth?
yeah, and then the thing is, the way to create this is by doing your budget. Now, people in Africa, they complain that they don't have money. And they say, but they're drinking alcohol every day. The pubs are opened Monday to Monday. How can you be in a pub Monday to Monday and you're claiming you don't have money? You're claiming that money that you're buying that alcohol. Okay, fine. If you must drink alcohol because alcohol makes you happy, fine. I'm not going to fight you with that.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, if they say when I'm drunk, it makes me happy, fine. But take that money, take half of that money you buy alcohol with. If you're spending 50 pounds for alcohol, just divide that money into two. Take 25 pounds and put it aside for your insurance. Take the 25 pounds left, divide that into two as well. Put it in a savings. But look for investment. There are so many things that you can look that you can invest into. So take small money and invest into what you can afford. So that 50 pounds, you can divide it into three for your alcohol, for your insurance, and for your investment. You cannot tell me that you don't have money and you're always in the bar. That is rubbish. You cannot tell me you don't
It's
have
a very difficult thing to do because the culture is not there. I was thinking, before I let you continue, I was thinking, we have already setups in Africa, like the tsutsu that people have, we call it jangi in Cameroon. I
Yeah.
think we should start educating these women, saying, this is the money that everybody contributes. As part of the money or the interest that you make, we want you to put, from now, start putting 10% into an insurance on behalf of everybody else. I
Yeah.
think somewhere somebody has to force something somewhere, because
Into them. And that what you just said now, that is fantastic. So now we are 10 women. Every day we give £100, right? As 10 women. That £100, instead of us giving you the whole money from that £100, let's just take 10% and put it for insurance to cover all of us. So if anything was to happen for between the 10 of us, everybody will get, even if it's £15,000.
yeah,
Even if
yeah,
it's £15,000, that's still money that you did not have. That was money that there's no way you generate that money yourself.
exactly,
So when people now start giving you this money that they give, right, left, center, that £15 can go to your children, 15,000 can go to your children, and the other money that people contribute for your funeral can bury you.
exactly,
And
exactly,
then you
exactly.
have to train your children as well. Educate your children about wealth. Educate them about, if you get this 15K, don't take this 15K and go and buy this and buy that. Teach them how to look for what they can invest in, the shares they can buy. There's so many shares to buy. There's so many properties. There's so many things that you can invest your money
But
in.
this is also what I'm saying right here in Awif. When I tell women of real estate, they say, oh, we don't have the money, it's too much. I have said it and I will repeat. I'm looking for 10 women with 10,000 or 20 women with 5,000. We put it collectively together and buy real estate. That's it. That's your first investment. It's not that complicated. That money, you have it in your susu. Don't wait to use that money when somebody dies, when a child is born, or when there is celebrate nonsense, marriage or things like that. I'm not saying don't celebrate marriage. I'm not saying don't celebrate birth or death. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying you, every time you take that money, it's not because somebody has died. It's just because it's your turn to take it.
Yeah.
So why don't you use that money, put that money into something? It's just the education that most people don't have. And if we go to grassroots women, they understand it. They will get it. It's going to be a
Yeah.
struggle from the beginning, but they're going to see it. But also, if the diaspora, those who are educated enough, are not showing the example of insurance, are not showing the importance of insurance, how do we expect those people to understand if we
Exactly.
ourselves are not showing, we're not leading by example?
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of education. There's a lot of education that needs to be done. There's a lot of creating awareness into generational wealth that needs to be done. And because you even see, we have, and the thing is as well with us as a Black people, as a Black community, we don't like attending seminars. We don't like to develop ourselves. We don't like to listen to motivational speakers. We don't like those things. We just think, I'm good, I'm me, I'm living. You're not good at living because everybody needs somebody. Every single person needs somebody, regardless of who you are. Yesterday, I wrote something on a forum, and a girl came on my private page and said something to me. And I told her, I thank you because you saw me, you reminded me of who I was. Because sometime I was writing to her and I told her, you know what, my darling, I'm fed up with this thing. I feel this. And she encouraged me. So yesterday when she saw a post, a comment that I made, she came back and she said, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I said, it's because of you. You reminded me who I was, because we all need that. So you cannot sit there and say, I'm not listening to any motivational speaking tapes. I'm not listening to motivational speaking people. I'm not going to any seminar. I'm not listening to those things because I am good. So you just wake up and it's you. Nobody's an island. We learn every day. We learn every day. I've met people, my clients, who when they tell me, oh, Lydia, I have insurance. I say, let me see your insurance. They say, no, I have. When they show me their paper, I am shocked. Even them, they're shocked. They say, Lydia, I thought. I say, yes, because we all learn every day. Nobody knows everything. And this is my area of expertise. So you have to respect everybody's area of expertise. It's like I'm going to a doctor and now I want to prescribe my own medicine, but what do I know? What do I know about doctor? I know nothing. So I have to listen to what they're telling me because I know nothing. So everybody has their area of expertise, and there's a gift and there's a talent that God has given every single one of us. So you have to respect everybody's area. When it comes to insurance, advising insurance or giving insurance policies, that is my area of expertise. So when somebody is trying to argue with me that no, but and then I say bring your paper, they even feel embarrassed at the end. They say, oh my God, I didn't know. I say, because that's not your area. It's
And
my
also, insurances they evolve. You know, the change, the
yes.
additions come, and only you guys who are on top of your game,
Mhm.
we really know what to do and when to change that insurance. I know the lady I'm working with for my insurance. She's like my mom. I was her au pair before. I lived with her before, and she's doing my insurance. And now her daughter, it's the if something happens to me, the daughter who is a judge now it's taking care of my children. So it's like one family rotating like woo in all cycles. They know me the ins and out, and she'll come and she'll say, hey, come here, come here, come here. Something has changed. You want it, don't want it. So people like you, I think you should stay with families and really advise them because we really don't know. So before we
Yeah.
come to the expertise, we have 7 comments. Shall we take those comments first?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so where did we even? Okay, so here we go. She's walking towards her family office. Perfect.
That's good. That's
Perfect.
well done. Well done, my darling. That's
Exactly.
brilliant.
Exactly. Exactly. I even have life insurance on my parents.
Exactly. That's very important.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
very important. And I
Yeah.
know some people always think that if you take insurance for your parents, sometimes I talk to people that say, you can take insurance for your parents. Oh, they're not gonna die. People think that you want them to kill their parents. Oh, my parents are not. I say taking insurance for your parents is the most best thing you can do, because if your parents are to die, it's going to be your responsibility of how they're going to be buried. Do you want to do all this WhatsApp and somebody's giving £5, somebody £2, somebody's not giving and they were your friend, somebody's leaving the group and you're in the group, you see left somebody, do you want that? That is hurtful. So you need to have
Maybe they have
insurance for your
savings.
parents.
Maybe they have savings. So you have to think of your own situation, but we are here to encourage you to have the insurance. Start with yourself and your family. I hope start there, and so that people see the importance of insurance,
Yeah.
and if you can afford adding other people, because I know I used to have my mom on my health insurance, and she alone was 500 Swiss francs per month. So it depends on so many things. And if the person is not taking care, the person is not responsible, there's one point, this generational clan also has to change. So people become aware of what they are causing others, because you
Mm.
cannot put a child under this stress forever and think, I won't move my butt because, I have the, no.
Yeah.
It's not negative. It's pure fact. Yeah. Let's see. Binds to cosmos in the cause. Yeah, but
That's
you have to
true.
be responsible for your life. You're
Yeah.
responsible for your life.
Mhm.
You have to know your limits, where you stop, and make responsible choices.
Yeah.
When people say things like it's not our culture to save or invest or plan for our future, what exactly is our culture? Because I remember great grandparents passing on wealth. Mercy, you're going to break the banks. I
I need, I
completely
need to take I need to take and buy her nyama choma. She will know what nyama choma is. She deserves that.
I also don't understand when people say I'm late, I'm African, we're always late. That's not true, because our grandparents, they lived in villages and they
Yeah.
will live the day before and sleep in another village just to be there on time. So I don't get it.
Yes.
I don't get
Yes.
it either. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it. Somebody should come and explain
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm.
Exactly. But
True.
if the theory of grandparents passing on wealth, then we should never not be poor. My grandparents, I did not know them, but they did not pass me any wealth. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Me too. My own left me poor, 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 poor.
Yeah, exactly. It left my dad broke. My dad already left the house at 14 years old to go start working. And he also left me broke.
Poor.
so,
One day, one day,
so
one of my friends, she's from Tanzania, and the brother called and the brother said, she told the brother, oh, I'm broke. And the brother said, oh, I can send you money. I said, hey, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, so yeah, but at least he sent me to a private school, so that has helped. So
Yeah,
it's
that counts.
that counts. I give him
Yeah, that
credit for
counts.
that. But what his parents did to him, you know,
Mm.
thank you. I'm so tired of these stupid excuses they bring up. The Africans were the first to develop generational wealth. Our ancestors left hand.
That's true.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
true.
But there is a quote. This is what I was saying before you joined, that there is a quote that there is a generation that builds and there's another generation that destroys. There is a quote.
Mm. Yeah,
So
so our great grandparents built, but we are destroying it
yeah,
totally.
there
And
is
we
a
have to,
generation.
that circle has to stop. So we have to start building it as well for our children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Craft skills. Yeah. They left
Yeah.
us skills. Yeah. Okay, skills without money, it goes to a certain point. But yes, they left us something. That's
They
for
left
sure.
us a lot of skills. They left a lot of skills. But the reason why a lot of things now is because we nowadays is only, and I was telling my children, is everybody thinks if you don't go to university, you're nothing. They've forgotten to use their skills. Nobody use skills anymore. Their skills have been left now. If you're a carpenter, you're nothing. If you're a plumber, you're nothing. You have to go to university and be
But
a doctor, a
yeah.
lawyer, what is it, the other one? A doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. If you're there's one, two, three, and four. You're either a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, or a nobody. So this number four, they put all people with skills as a nobody. They put people who are not on this number three as a nobody. But that is wrong. That is why our great grandparents, they didn't go to university, but yes, they were wealthy and they left us skills. But we have forgotten all about that because now the white man told us, if you do not go to university, you are rubbish. But that is not true because we have a lot of even white people who are doing skills. They are working with their hands.
And the skills are more and more needed here, even in developed countries. The skilled
Yes.
workers are needed, and now they go to Poland and all those countries to bring them to do those skills. But to be perfectly honest, I will have problems if my kids don't go to the university.
Mm.
I want to come up straight.
Mhm.
So I have, maybe this is a complex that I have. I went to
Mhm.
university. We have one of my brothers did not, one did. My sister is a doctor, so I have doctors in a line of gynecologists, cardiologists, all these, the big names in my. I will, if my son ends up a plumber, I want to tell the world today I will be disappointed. What
Mm.
what do you have to say to me? Because I'm coming up straight here. I will be
I would
disappointed.
say that that's a complex. That is not good at all whatsoever. Because let me tell you. Let me give you an example of what happened to me. My daughter went to university because I have a 22-year-old, and I gave birth when I was young. So that's another story. And my daughter was in uni. And this girl was every day, she was crying. She was just crying every day. But it's because of the pressure of university. Parents, black parents, we want our children to go to university. My daughter, she's very good in performing arts. She's an actress, she's a singer, she's a dancer. She can do all those things. Even those dances that we used to do, she was the one who was teaching us. She's a professional
But
dancer.
there are universities for that. There are universities for that.
Yes, there are universities for that. Yes, they are. So now she went to do performing arts in the uni. That's what she was doing. She went to do performing arts, but she did not like to stay in. She did not want to be in university. She wanted to do theory. She wanted practical. She doesn't like theory. But at university, there's theory and practicals. But she only went there because this is what everybody's doing. Everybody wants. Everybody. One day I was watching news, and take this from me. I was watching news and there was a nurse, there was a woman, she was crying, the white woman, she was crying because her daughter committed suicide. And a lot of children commit suicide in university. And I was like, wow, oh my God. And the woman would say, I wish I'd listened to my daughter. I wish this, I wish I did. I would just want my daughter to come back and I'll tell her, what, forget uni, it's not important. And then I was watching it. I was just in my room with my daughter and I said, oh my God, this is so sad. Imagine taking your child to school. You know what my daughter told me? She said, Mom, I used to feel like that every day. I feel like that. And I said, sorry, come again. What did you say? She said, I used to sit on the windowsill She used to even sit on the windowsill, and then something would tell her that the way because me and my children were very, very close. And she said the only thing that made her not to jump was because of the way we are close and the way I brought them up. And then I told her, but how do you feel now? She said, I still feel the same. Do you know? I'm telling you, my sister, I told my daughter that day, you're not going back to uni. She never went back. I told her, because I thought God has given me an opportunity to listen to my daughter's cry, but me as a mom, I'll still be like, no, you have to go to uni. And then she goes and dies there. And then what will I say? Wake up and don't go to uni now. She's gone. So God gave me that chance to listen
Yeah.
to my daughter's cry.
Yeah.
So since then, I'm telling parents, university is not always the way. It is good. It's very good. But we need to listen to our children. You encourage them. I encourage my child. I used to drive where she was going to uni, is 2 hours, 30 minutes. When she was crying, I would leave my house. I would drive to my daughter. So I did everything possible. I spoke to her. I encouraged her. I did everything possible. But uni was not just for her.
Okay.
So when
But
she told me,
let's. I agree with what you're saying perfectly. I agree. We must not force them. Each life has its path. Each life has its journey. Right now, that's what's coming for me. My kids are just 9 and 7. I really don't know what they will become. One is talking of neuroscientists, one is talking of yoga, the other one is talking of something else. But you can be a skilled person and still do university. My point is just be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be the one digging your hand in the toilet. Nah, that's not what I want. You can employ people to get. I'll help you. That's this generational wealth. We'll find that money for you to open that company.
people that will be doing that job by using the
Exactly.
business owner.
So even if you don't go to university, if you can just turn that around a little bit, that's fine. That's fine with me. So I want both. But
I get you.
I said one person should suffer, my dear Lydia. You're not going
Yeah.
to make my son suffer. That's two people.
Mhm.
No, that's a bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's true.
we are all different. We learn different. If it's not the child's way, it's not the child's way. But I know in Africa
Yeah.
they really force you if you don't. But it's true that you have to listen to them. So let's take some of the comments. So I'm confused. These stupid as being Africans. Okay. She said our grandparents left us dad. My grandfather left wealth, my uncle spent it.
Oh God, we're laughing, but it's not funny. Seriously, that's what they do. Probably there was no will. Probably grandfather did not leave any will behind. Because
Yeah,
if
I asked
grandfather
you
left
guys from the
will,
beginning. I asked you guys from the beginning, who is that one person who broke poverty, or who is the person who brought poverty, who kept the poverty? You should have told me straight up front that my uncle kept poverty.
God,
But
it's
we
not
have to talk
funny.
about it. It is the truth, and we can only be the only one having these problems. That's why we're here to talk about it. This
Yeah.
is wills are important. You see?
Yeah, because she didn't leave a will. He did not leave a will. Because
Yeah.
if he had left a will, it's different. But if you don't leave a will, I problems. I have my friend from Gabon. She's going through the same thing. But for me, I advise that leave it because there was no will. And then the mom was a very rich woman. She left properties upon property. And she went to Gabon. And of course, she's going to meet with the brothers and sisters who are in the ground. They know everything that happens. So you can't come to the UK and start telling us rubbish. I'm telling you, this girl, now if I'm talking to you, she cannot even, she was hospitalized for 9 months. Nobody knew what was wrong with her. The doctors checked it. I told her, my sister, leave that wealth alone. If
You
your
know
mom
what?
had a will,
It is
yes,
true.
yeah, if
When
she
you're
had a will,
in Europe and then the other
yeah,
people don't fight it.
don't fight it.
One relative of mine said, "Oh, you are not like us. You are different. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to show you're different. You're educated. You're this. When I die, I won't leave you any property." And I said, "When you die, take it with you."
Yeah,
So when the person died, they said, "Oh, the aunties they call, we've distributed. This has this, this has that, that is, and this is yours." And I said, "I told him to take it with him. I'm not taking it. I
I
told
don't
him.
want it.
I
Mm.
told him to take it. If you did not, please keep it. Oh, but you know, he's young and you have to take it. If not, you're dishonoring. And I'm like, whoa, no, I'm not taking it. And
Mm,
I did not
mm.
up to today. Do what you want. But this is
Yes,
when trouble starts because of you have this education, they have this culture. And they're trying to make two things meet. It
and it's
won't
hard.
work. It's difficult. You're only going to kill yourself. So you're right to tell your friend to let it go.
Yeah. But if they had a will, it would be easier because then the will just says, this is to this person. The fight will not be as bad as if there's no will. Yeah.
Yeah. University and skilled craft. Exactly. You see, somebody sees with me, just do it, but let's build a company. Lydia, if it's too much for me, I'll come to you. You know what? Let's dig in those insurance that it says they have.
Oh, God.
At the end, you have to leave them to find their own path. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You have to leave your children to find their own path. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Exactly. You're very right. But still, please just tell them to open a company. Please tell them that, okay?
Yeah, yeah, of course. They're not working for anybody. People are working for them.
Exactly. One
Yeah.
person suffers for everybody, not
Mm, mm.
I have two in uni and and one has left to pursue. Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
If that makes happiness is, we should come back to this subject and talk about the happiness of, generational wealth. It's also
Mm.
important to be happy. Our parents did not give us a
No.
lot of happiness or how to find your happiness, that inner
Mhm.
peace. They didn't give us. We are just running behind stuff.
Yeah.
As long all three are happy. You see, we are all on the same wavelength. Thank you, guys.
Good.
It's amazing. It's amazing to be
It's amazing. And
exactly,
Tony Lout and Brown, thank you so much. He's been really participating and listening. So thank you so much for that.
exactly.
Mhm.
We have mercy. I wish parents to understand that they are vessel God used to bring another human being into the world. Parents should be yes. However, parents push their own personal purpose and agenda onto their kids. That's madness. I completely agree with you.
Mhm.
Most parents try to push their children where they failed.
Yeah. To live their life.
Exactly. And as a parent, I see it sometimes in me trying to tell my children what to do. I
Yeah.
completely agree and confess, hands up. But I'm
Yeah.
trying, I'm learning,
Mm.
as your child, you want the best for them. And that's what you would give the best of.
Mm. Mm. I think we need to have a line, we need to have a limit of how we push them because you can guide them, like she said, like Mary Odia was rightfully saying, we can be
Yes.
the guide. We guide the mass here. We guide our children to the right path. Nobody will guide their children to the wrong path. You guide them to the right path, and then now let them discover that path for themselves. So, as much as we push our children to do this, because even me, I know that I'm a performing artist, and in Kenya, I did not get that opportunity. So I used to push my daughter. She didn't stop singing. She said, I hated singing man because of the way you pushed me. Because I pushed her when she was young. I took her to shows. I paid for her private tuitions. I did everything. But when now she was old enough, she said, Mom, I can't do this anymore because this is your dream. So, so as much as we are pushing our children, I think there should be a balance and a limit. But some parents do not understand that balance and limit. They go too far, and that is why their children become rebellious. Their children just leave them, don't want to talk to them. Some children commit suicide because there's too much pressure from the parents because you must be a doctor, because your uncle, your father, I don't know who, in this family, they are doctors. So my child, you have to be doctor. You have to be no. Come on, please. Why? Why didn't you become a doctor yourself? Why are you pushing this little boy to be a doctor? Oh, yes. Understand?
Okay.
So
So you are telling me that I should not tell
I'm
my
sorry.
children to be
I'm
entrepreneurs.
sorry. I'm
You are telling
sorry.
me, okay, okay. I hear you. You've convinced one parent. You've convinced one. Okay, I will shut up as from now on. And
But we still have to
but
guide
I
them to the
promise you,
right
if
path.
anything go wrong,
You come
what
to me.
exactly? I'm shooting it like you and Mercy. I had my plans. You two came up today and you shattered all my plans. If things go worse than I had planned, I tell you, I'm landing it on your head. I'm bringing
Big
them
man,
to you.
you knock our doors.
You're
Shh.
you're raising them. I stand corrected. I will do my
Yeah,
best not to push, but I will
yeah,
push as a parent. I will. You have to. But
yeah.
yes, they're sovereign
Big,
beings. I will respect I'm here to guide them. I'm the vessel. Mercy,
yes.
when you have your child, you know that you have two more here left for you. Let
Hmm.
children try to live their life. You can't force what's not going to happen. That's number three, auntie. I will bring
It's
them.
true.
Let it not work for
You
me.
divide one for Mercy, one for Chimoli. Good waiting.
And
Yeah,
other please, thank you for having this conversation. Oh, Andrea, I hope you're well. I miss you. Let's see. It's a serious matter. Yeah, are you serious?
it
I'll
is.
bring them. Don't worry.
It is. It is. For a point of some children committing suicide because of the pressure of their parents, it is very serious. And I think parents should see this as a very serious issue. They should just guide their children to the right path. Or if your child says this is what they want, we guide them. In my house, I've got three children, and they're all different. It's amazing how this one says she wants this, and this one wants this, and I'm thinking, the same father, the same mother, and totally different personalities, characters, and choice of careers or choice of what they want to do. One wants to be a business person. My 17-year-old, she's already a businesswoman because she does cakes. She sells her cake. She makes sometimes £100 a day. Sometimes I have to stop her and I tell her, sweetheart, education. But sometimes she forgets that she's still in school. So she takes orders and orders and orders. And then she's not sleeping for 2 days. And I'm thinking, what are you doing to yourself? No, no more. But mommy, I say, call your clients and no, you have to cancel those orders because now I can see entrepreneurship in her. She's an entrepreneur because every time she comes and tells me, mommy, I want us to do business together. I say, you write me a business plan. This girl is only 17. Write me a business plan and let me see if it's something that I want to invest into or I want to, because I know you just want my capital in there.
And
You
you come to work to
want my
me.
capital. So bring your business plan. So she is in a different lane. My firstborn is in a different lane. My lastborn, she wants to be a heart surgeon. And I'm like, wow. So this is so different. This
Wow.
one wants to be this. But you just have to direct them and guide them, provided what they're doing is not criminal and is not illegal. So we have to just train our children to the right path.
They should just be. They should enjoy what they've chosen. They should be
Exactly.
happy
Mhm.
because that inner again, that happiness we were not taught.
Yeah.
I have discovered happiness only after again. I'm normally a happy person, but truly from a deeper perspective, only after I started meditating, then I could reach a place of. I have the religious background, but it's not the same. But with meditating
Yeah.
and just letting go, it's a
Mhm.
different feeling. So if
Yes.
they're happy, if it brings them that joy,
Mhm.
many African parents do not leave a will and the havoc left behind continues through generation. It is ignorance. Yeah. Yeah. We have to
That
continue this
is,
conversation.
yes,
Honestly,
that
Lydia,
is,
we have to each month, I think we should have this each month, have a topic, one topic, maybe insurance, the other month something so that people it can start sinking
yeah,
in.
yeah. Because sometimes the more you talk about something, the more it sinks into your
Of
subconscious.
course, of
Because
course.
something, yeah, that's why even when you tell yourself, because when you're doing motivational speaking, and when you start encouraging somebody, they start saying, "I am beautiful." If they just say I'm beautiful one day, it's not enough. Because if somebody was looking at themselves as ugly before, and they were living in that bubble of I'm ugly, for them to come out from that bubble, they have to speak positive and beautiful every day until it sinks into their subconscious that even when they wake up, they just, wow, I am so beautiful. That,
Yeah.
you understand? So it's the same thing as insurance. We have to keep on saying it until it sink into their subconscious. And then they say, you know what? I give up. Now I can see sense in this. I want to do it. I want to do it. That is the only way we break this generation of poverty. Because let me tell you something. Why they say that the white people are superior? They are, because the only reason why they are is because they have the wealth. If somebody who has money, somebody who is in a better position than you, they can suppress you. if they want. That's why you see a lot of house girls in Africa. Their bosses, some of them suppress them because they're in a better position than them. But if you're a businesswoman, you come to the office, I'm in the same position as you, or I'm higher than you. How can you suppress me? You can't. So the white people will always suppress us because they're living in generational wealth when we are living in generational poverty. It's a circle, and that circle we need to break it. So they'll reach a time where we'll reach on their level. So then we'll respect each other. My dear, you cannot do this to me because me too, I'm there. But right now, they are there and we are down there because of this generational wealth and we're living in generational poverty. So it's time we need to talk about it, and break it in our mind. And then we'll break it in the physical. But we have to first break it spiritually, and that's changing our mindset, and then we can break it in physically, because it says that whatever is in your heart, that will manifest itself in the physical. So once you accepted the fact that I'm living in generational poverty, then we start breaking that and we start seeing how we can start building our generational wealth.
Exactly. It's going to happen. We need
Amen.
people like you. We have to have this kind of, I'm looking for real estate, insurances, God knows, all these things we can put as a package
Buying
together.
shares, to buy shares.
Stocks, bonds.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because our husbands are not income streams. Okay, let's get that clear. What
Yeah.
about those that invest in Africa and don't travel there, don't take their kids there?
That's
That's
the most
it's a personal
stupid
choice.
thing.
It's
They
a
go and buy a big house they don't live in. Their children never go to Africa. Their children will never live there. So what is that house for? Is there
maybe
to
at one
show?
maybe at one point they had the intention and something happened. That's a personal choice.
No, but let me tell you, so many people that have invested that are buying homes there and they don't even go. Who
Yeah.
is living in that house? Their family. So at whose expense? If you're investing back home, if I say I want to build my mom a big house, that is a choice. Yes, I want to build my mom a big house. That is good, but that's no investment.
No.
That is just me buying my mom a big
Yeah.
house. That is me buying my family a big house. That's no investment. But investment, when I'm buying properties upon properties in Africa, and I've never even gone there. I've never even sent my children there. Who are those houses I'm building for? For who? In expenses of who?
But
If
how is it an investment if no one is if it's just empty? How is that an investment? It's not an
Because with
investment.
families, it's not an investment. Because most of the time you build a house, your family go and live there. They lie to you that somebody is oh my God, I don't even want to start that one. That one is a
Yeah,
different.
I see it come. Okay, next next question. We Africans have to think about our kids. Absolutely, we think of them, but in a different way. We think of them
Yeah.
as our insurances, our bank accounts. That has to change. We as parents think the children should be like us. Yes,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's not gonna happen.
Mm. We have to be careful with the pushing when it comes to children. Yes, yes, absolutely,
I just
absolutely.
gave example of my daughter.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Love you, ladies. Love you
And
too.
two,
Nothing here. Mercy. She's laughing because we said we would come and if it doesn't work, no, Mercy. You don't live far from me. I would get in my car, drive to Germany. I know where to find you. You won't suffer too much. I've done some investment, but you will keep them. We should do this every week. No, we will do it every month. Every week might be too much because we have other people that have already every month. But I think if we do it every month, that's all. Maybe sometimes it might happen twice per month, but every month, if we have this in, as you said, in the head, like a tape,
yeah.
and if we have concrete cases, because we have to know how we are working with you. Let's see. I
Mm-hmm.
miss you too. Let's see. Coronavirus gave me time. Glad to have seen this. Normally travel. Exactly. I loved it because I could, see my kids day after day, watch them. I could see them literally grow from this to this to this to this. Nah. So it was really good. Watching from Germany. Yeah.
Love it. Speak up.
Let's see. One more here. I work in Zara, and my job, I want to help single mothers, kids, women with problems, because we have laws that are. So why don't you come up here and let's do a live stream, and then we do
Yeah.
this public. This is the only way. Come, tell me when, would prepare everything, and yeah, it will help if we talk about it. Now, back to let me go back to the comment and take it away. Here we go. How do you work with your client, and how can we work with you? Example, if one Awifian says, Lillian, this live stream landed for me, how can we start working with that person?
Okay, if somebody was to call me for an insurance or call you,
Exactly.
if they're living in the UK or they want insurance for Kenya, for their family in Kenya, or they're in the UK, they should just call me. And because I work for so many different insurance companies, what I do is according to your needs, affordability, and your way of life, because those are the things that affect your insurance policies. After I've taken your details, I look and I see which provider is good for you and which provider can give you the best according to your affordability. And that is what I will give you. That's the insurance policy I'll give you. And before I can even give you an insurance, I have to advise you. So I take like an hour with my clients on the phone because I have to advise them from every single product, and then I'll give them a choice. And I say, okay, now all the products that we've spoken about, me as an advisor, this is what I'd advise you to have. But at the end of the day, is what you want to have as a client.
Exactly.
Because you are going to pay for it, not me.
Exactly. And also, if you're not living in the UK, still contact us. We will be able to find somebody that you trust. As I said at one point of this conversation, the person who is doing my insurance is somebody that I know. I call her mom. I've lived with her. I trust her and she trusts me. When you go through somebody that you trust, there is some kind of openness. You're willing to open up to certain things that is not comfortable telling someone who is just an insurer, and someone who speaks your language, who can relate to you, to your country, to your African background, to who understands that context of it all is very important. Even though the person doing my insurance is not African, she's French, she's Swiss, but I have lived with her. So she knows me. We know each other. So the everything is open. And it makes it easier. It makes it just easier. So if you're not living in the UK, contact us. If you're in Germany, we have contacts and we can put you in contact with somebody, and we'll keep an eye that they give you the right insurance because we know you and we know your history. That's why we're here. Don't just go because there's so many insurance. They call me every day, every single day, and we want to sell you this. So be careful. We have more comments. My investment group just got one of our companies to $1 million equity.
Can you imagine?
You do investment? Come on, baby. We need you.
Talk to us.
Baby, come to us.
That is a very good
What's
place
the minimum entry?
to buy shares. That's a good place to buy shares.
What's the minimum entry? Yesterday, somebody sent me a message and was talking to me about Bitcoins. So I have my eye on that. And now in Geneva, we are already paying like cleaning ladies, people working for your homes with Bitcoins. Think of it. It's coming.
It's coming.
So if you have an investment company, if you are in the Bitcoin area, come on. Yes, come join us. Come join us. Come join us. So how can we find you?
My Facebook page is just like my name, Lydia Tett Olet. That's my Facebook page. So you can always go there and write me a message on inbox. And also my number is +44, because I know we live outside the Europe. Is +44.
Let me just type that in. Should I?
Yes,
you want
please.
to make it open?
Yeah, +44.
So I'll just do 0044.
7853 207075.
207075. Okay, let me just contact Lydia
Tett Olet.
Okay, so it's in the chat, so people can contact you, but you can also contact us and we'll put you in contact with her. But she'll be coming back, I promise.
Yeah, thank you.
Promise. We need to have this conversation every month, because it's so important. It's so important. It saved me. If not, I would have been depression. I would have been, it gave me the time to mourn that I did not have to worry about.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the word. In fact, that's a very important word. And because for you, you're talking through experience, someone can actually say, if Lydia is lying, let's listen to Lydia. No, she's actually talking through experience. So thank
It
you
gave
so
me,
much, Lillian, for
it
actually
gave me
doing
the
that.
time to mourn, and I can keep
Mm,
mourning without feeling pinch. I'm missing
mm.
the person, not missing what he should have done and did not do.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
missing
yes,
the
yes.
person. I'm missing the love. I'm missing this person, the husband, the dad, the friend. This person. I'm not missing the money in no way.
Mm,
So that time just to think of the person itself and also to say thank you because
mm,
men they don't. It's a lot of money.
mm.
At one point, I was the one saying, "Let's stop this insurance. Let's stop," and he said, "Don't."
Can
So
you imagine?
if it would have been stopped, it would have been my fault and not his, but he said don't,
Yeah.
and we didn't. So
Mm,
I'm concentrating on the person that I've lost, not the money, the situation which is no longer, and the person. I have
yeah.
just one problem, the person who should
Mm,
not be here.
yeah.
Listen
Yeah.
to me. Listen carefully to me. If you don't do insurances, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Mm, mm,
Really. Really. So if you
mm.
don't want to believe, if you want to believe, yeah. Even if I lose my job today with real estate, they will still pay me. Even
Mm,
with COVID, and I told my tenants, if you can't, please push it to the next month and let's accumulate.
mm,
They will still come back to me.
mm,
Listen if you have ears. I have been there, walking in the shoes
mm,
right now.
mm, mm.
So yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Let's do this again. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you. Thank
having
you
you.
very much for having me.
Thank you so much. And please, please know that the African community needs you. Let's try to
Yes.
educate women locally because, like I just said, they have the money already, but they're
Mm,
not using it correctly. If we can
yes.
just tell them, if we can really find, let's look for someone who is, let's look in each country or with
Mm,
zones, like in Kenya, someone who is local. And
mm,
like you, we should go to these women and explain to them the benefit
mm.
of putting this 10% to the side, to an
Decide.
insurance, to real
Mm,
estate.
mm.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because then it gets to open their eyes, and maybe we should bring somebody who speaks their language, somebody who speaks
Mm, yeah.
so that they will understand.
Mm, mm.
So thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you too, Tokie. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chimoli. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure having you all live here. That's already 2 hours, 16 minutes. Thank you so much. We're
Right.
going to be having this
Thank you.
conversation. We want to know if you have insurance, not because you're going
Mm,
to be killed, because somebody said on the page, or if many people have been killed because they have life insurance. Yes, yes, but they are being killed by somebody who doesn't have because, again, lack of knowledge. Because if I have life insurance and he has life insurance, why is there the need to kill me?
exactly.
There is no need.
Exactly. Mm,
There is no need to
yes.
kill me.
True. Mm,
So it's an education which we must start, and those who have done it should speak up.
yeah.
It's dangerous, but we have to break this cycle of not talking about
Mm,
the truth, of how you can really take the time to spend to cry on something which you know you will never have, which you cannot prevent, rather than crying
mm.
on something which you can prevent. You can prevent
Yeah.
poverty
Yeah.
by having things like assets, insurance, stocks.
Yeah. Just by having plan. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in Germany and
With Victor.
exactly. Okay. So thank you so much,
Thank you very
Lydia. It
much.
was a pleasure
Thank
having
you.
you. Let's
Thank
plan for next
you.
month.
Yes, we plan for next month.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Bye
God
bye.
bless.
So that was it, Awifians. Now you have some facts. Now you have some information. Let's continue this conversation on insurance, on generational wealth. What are the tools that could help you build generational wealth? Do you see the value in it? Do you think it's very expensive? How can we help? How can we guide you? And all those of you who think you've created generational wealth, could you share with us some of its importance? Thank you so much. It was a pleasure spending this hour, 2 hours, 18 minutes with you. Thanks for your patience. Please share this live stream with your family and friends. Like our page, join our community. We are here to create generational wealth. We are here to change our lives. We are here to uplift one another and uplift ourselves. Thank you so much. My name is Lilian Mole, and I will see you in the next live stream. Bye bye.